Hello everyone, this beautiful tropical plant here is Polyscias filicifolia. It's native to Southeast Asia, but nowadays it is quite popular all around the world as an ornamental pot plant, and in all tropical countries it's pretty popular as a garden plant. But very little people know that it's also a wonderful medicinal plant, which is botanically related to ginseng, and therefore it has the same medicinal powers as ginseng. Yep. Although it doesn't look that much similar, it's relative, and it has the same chemical compounds as ginseng. That makes it also a very good immune system stimulant and has all those other benefits of ginseng. But the good thing about Polyscias is that, unlike ginseng, for which you need to use roots and it's need to be few years old plants to use, with Polyscias it's very simple because you can simply pick those leaves and eat it fresh. They say in Vietnam that the most potent medicinally are actually the roots and secondly the stems of Polyscias. So in Vietnam they have whole plantations of Polyscias, and they chop the roots and stems into pieces and sell to be used for decoctions or just consumed in a dried powder form. But leaves, although not as potent, you can just taste the same taste of ginseng. Maybe also a bit of a taste of a parsley and celery like. That's why sometimes you just use it for cooking. In Indonesia and Papua New Guinea, they quite often in rural areas use those wild growing their Polyscias as a pot herb or a kind of a vegetable, although you cannot eat it in bigger amounts, because although the leaves are not potent as the roots or stems, it's still that if you would eat too many of them, then you could have problems with a high blood pressure or the very fast heartbeat. So just like with this real ginseng, it's very good in small amounts. In excess, it might be not very good for you. So I will show you here another Polyscias species, which is closely related and has the same medicinal values. Here you have another Polyscias species. I forgot the scientific name of this one. As you can see, the leaves are much different, right? It's totally different shape, but just look at the stem. If not for the leaf shapes, its growth is just the same as that of Polyscias filicifolia. And as you look at those very characteristic joints, it's just like the same. So let's go back there to compare those two species, and you will see that although at the first glance the leaves looks much different, in fact they have very similar structure. So here you see the two species. It has that very characteristic joint at the base of a leaf stem, so it kind of resembles the parsley leaf stem connection to the base, but of course it creates the stem that parsley don't. Yeah. There are some Polyscias species that are actually growing as tall as the trees, even like 15 meters. But these two Polyscias species that I showed you here now, and a few others that I wrote about together in one article about Polyscias on my blog, a link below we'll put. Those Polyscias species that you use as a pot herb and as a medicinal plant, they all grow just to around 3 meters and usually are being kept in pots or in garden at height of 1 or 2 meters, and as a house pot plant they often even are cultivated as a bonsai, because Polyscias is a very sturdy plant. It can survive any conditions, so it's perfect for cultivation as a bonsai. No matter how little soil it will have, it will survive for years. It will just slower its growth. So yeah, perfect plant for there. A really beautiful bonsai. You can see it on the internet. So if I will have a chance to still get some nice plants of those other Polyscias species that are also used in the same way as Polyscias filicifolia for its medicinal values, then I will add it to this video. But I'm leaving the Philippines soon, so I don't know if I will be still able to do that. But anyway, you will find all this medicinally potent Polyscias species on my blog. So it will be easy for you to recognize which of those beautiful ornamental plants are also wonderful medicinal plants, just a perfect ginseng substitute. So yeah, it boosts your immunity, it helps for many other conditions. You can read it all in my article, and in the same time it's a wonderful ornamental plant. So it's actually very sad that although it is very popular nowadays as an ornamental plant, those Polyscias species are very little known as medicinal plants and as culinary herbs. Even in Indonesia and Papua New Guinea, where it is native to, and where all this traditional medicinal use information comes from, it is still very little known. Like I said, only in Vietnam, according to my knowledge, they have like proper plantations of it for production of herbal products. But in Indonesia, Malaysia and Papua New Guinea, some people just pick it from wild or grow it in their gardens and just use for their own personal use as a medicine or pot herb. Yep. So Polyscias filicifolia and some other species, Polyscias gulfoilae, and what else? Yeah, so I'm just letting you know roughly what that beauty is about, how wonderful uses it has, how great ginseng substitute it is. But for all the details, just go to the article on my blog and you'll have all the information you need there.